You are welcome back to the beginner's guide to graphic design. In this video, we will be looking at design process. Just like every other thing has a process, design also have its process. It is just like the steps you take before you start designing, the step from the beginning of your design till the end. For the purpose of this course, we will be looking at 9 steps that will take when it comes to design. The first one is understanding the brief. Understanding the brief means that you have to understand what you want to do, what the project is all about, what the project requires. What are you designing? Is it a flyer I want to design? Is it a logo I want to design? Who am I designing for? This logo I want to design, what brand am I designing it for? What is the goal of the brand? Who is the target audience of the brand? For example, if you are designing something for a children, let's say you are designing a flyer for a children party, you know, when it comes to children, you have to use different colors. So that what you'll be designing for a kiddies party will be different from what you will be designing for let's say a beach party or a ladies hangout. So you have to understand the process, you have to understand the brief, you have to get every details from your client before you start designing at all. That is the first step when it comes to the design. You have to understand every bit of the design. You don't just say, okay, the party is at the so place, and then you just start designing. No, you have to ask questions. There are important questions that you need to ask when it comes to design. You have to understand the brief. Now, after understanding the brief, the next thing you should do is to research. As designers, we conduct research before we start designing. For example, if I want to design for a ladies hangout, I will have to understand, okay, this is for a ladies hangout. What color do ladies like? Which font will go with ladies? Which fonts will, like, you just have to research. Make your research. Sometimes you can research on Google, you can research on Pinterest. If you want to design a logo too, make your research. Let's say you want to design for a currency exchange company, you need to make your research. Okay, when it comes to currency exchange, what type of elements, what is common with every other currency exchange company? Don't forget that the brand you are designing for, they have competitors. There are a whole lot of that business has been in existence even before the one you want to design. So make your research into the competitors, how they do their design, how you want to make your own design stand out. The next stage is brainstorming and ideation. So during this stage, you have to generate the idea and concept for the design. You have to think of how you want to solve the design problem. The next one is sketching and drafting. Most times when I want to design a flyer, I don't sketch in a book. I sketch on my head. Like, I just like, okay, how do I want to arrange it? Do I want to place the image at the center? Do I want to place the image to the left? But when I want to design a logo, you just have to sketch, because it is not the first sketch you make that you will eventually go with. So you have to sketch. It is important for you to sketch. So as a designer, it's not just all about you designing. Before you start designing, this process is very important. The next one is design creation. After you have sketched, then you can start designing. You can use whatever software you want to use. Maybe your own software, you want to use Canva, you want to use CorelDRAW. So this stage is where the design really happens. And a lot of people think the design creation is what design is all about. Unfortunately, there is more to design than just the creation. You must have gotten all the necessary information, brainstorm, sketch, and before you start your creation at all. Because if you do not do all these things before you start your creation, by the time you create, is that what you are designing does not go well with what you are supposed to do, and it will not achieve the result it is meant to achieve. And now, after designing, you have to ask for feedback. Designers often seek feedback. Sometimes you have to seek feedback from your client. Sometimes you have to seek from your friends. It depends. For example, I have designed logos before that I have to ask friends that, okay, look at this logo, what do you think about it, before I send it to the client. And when I send it to the client and the client make correction, you have to work on it again. So feedback and iteration. Design is not all about you just design. You don't expect that once you design then your clients should accept it automatically. No, in fact, there are times that you have to make correction up to 10 times. So you just have to be patient so that you can get the desired result, the result that your client wants. So you have to be open to criticism. You need to seek feedback from your client, especially because your client is the main person when it comes to design. You have to meet their expectation. The next one is finalization. So after the client has agreed with the design, after the back and forth, then you finalize the design, you correct it and you make it perfect, and then you deliver the design to the client. That's the delivery stage. You deliver it to the client. If it is for print, that means you have to know that's where the first stage is, understanding the brief. What is the purpose of the design? Is it for print? If it is for print, the format you will send out will be different from the format you will send out. You have to understand all these things. So then you deliver it. Then after the delivery comes the evaluation. After you've delivered your work, you are not done with design yet. You have to ask questions from your client. Maybe you designed a flyer for them. Later on, you have to ask, is this flyer, is it bringing in the desired results? You need to ask questions, because when you ask questions, you have to know if the design is performing what it is supposed to perform, if it is converting. If it is not converting, then you have to know so that you can do better in your next design. You don't just design, send it out and believe that is all. No, that is not all. You still have to evaluate. You still have to ask your client questions. Maybe some days after you send the design out, a week after, then ask them, how far with the design? Is it converting? Is it bringing in clients? Is it doing what you want it to do? That way you will be able to do better in your next design. And also note that this design process is flexible. It is flexible, and it may vary from project to project. The process I will use when I'm designing a flyer will be different from the process I will use when I am defining a logo. Just like I said, when I'm designing a flyer, I don't sketch in paper, but when I'm designing a logo, I'll sketch in the paper, in the book. So the design process is flexible, but you have to understand that design is not just about you designing. There is a process to it that you must follow so that you can get a desired outcome. So that is all about design process.
Did you learn anything from this video? There is more to come. You can go through the previous videos, and for more videos, subscribe and put on the notification bell so that you will not miss out. See you in the next video.